A very good morning, students. Welcome back to Java programming class. In our previous session, we have completed the multi-threading concept and we have started the AWT concept, and we said this abstract window toolkit AWT is helpful in developing the GUI based applications, that is graphical user interface based applications. We have discussed the concepts, the hierarchy of classes and the different components inside this AWT API, and we have also seen the programming examples. Practically we have not seen, because in order to execute your AWT programs, we need a special type of setup that we need to do in our computer. So I have planned these things in the weekend. So over there I will show you how to execute the Java X package programs. So all these AWT, Swing, whatever we are going to discuss, the GUI components, they are part of your advanced Java. Under Java X package we have these additional things. So over there we will discuss how these programs we're gonna execute. Okay. So apart from this AWT, we also have a specialized what we call the API, that is your Swing API, Java's Swing API. So it is also a part of your Java X package, your Swing. Uh, Using this Swing, we're gonna implement the GUI based applications. Okay, we already have this AWT in hand, then why we are going for this Swing, in the sense because these swings, they are very much advantageous when we are comparing with this AWT abstract window toolkit. Okay, so Java Swing tutorial, it is a part of your Java foundation classes that is used to create window based applications. So not only AWT, we have Swings also. Using Swing also we can create the window based application. Window based applications are nothing but your graphical user interface based applications, where the user is going to interact with the application in terms of events. He will generate events on the application, and we will handle those events, and with the help of those event handlers only we will give the output to the end user through the application. Okay, unlike we are not going to print any messages in the command prompt, rather we will give some proper response, okay, on the GUI based application. Okay, so why we have this Swing when we already have AWT, in the sense because developers, they thought whatever we have inside AWT, that is not sufficient, and we have some drawbacks also inside this AWT API. Because of that reason they went for this Swing API. Okay, Swing API, whatever drawbacks we discussed in AWT API, those things we are overcoming inside this Swing API. Swing API, it provides platform independentness, okay, which is not there in your AWT. Okay, AWT, it is platform dependent, but whereas your Swing, it is platform independent, and also it is lightweight. Okay, because your because your AWT, it will closely interact with your operating system, what we call components. Okay, in order to execute AWT, your AWT application will closely interact with the operating system components. Because of that reason, it is platform dependent, as well as it is heavyweight. Okay, such a thing is not there in your Swing API. Whatever application you develop using this Swing API, so that application, it is not going to interact with the operating system resources or operating system, what we call components, directly. Because of that reason, it is platform independent, as well as it is lightweight in nature. So lightweight in the sense, uh, yeah, first of all we need to discuss what is platform dependent. So suppose if you are developing an application inside AWT, there is no guarantee that that application will give the same output in a secondary system. Okay, in one system you are developing the application and you are taking it to the some other system, there is no guarantee that you will get the same output. Okay, there is no guarantee that you will get the same output. Okay, some deviated output you will get some okay. But when we are talking about lightweight in the sense your AWT applications will consume a lot of computer resources to execute, but whereas your swing, it will consume less number of resources. Sorry, swing, it will consume less number of resources. Because of that reason, using swings over AWT, it is advisable. Okay, so this swing, where we have this swing foundation classes or swing components in the sense under Java X dot swing package. Okay, Java X dot swing package, we have all the classes which are available inside your swing API. Okay, what are those classes in the sense? Simply put J, okay, prefixed J with AWT classes. Whatever AWT classes we have, simply put the J letter before the beginning of that class name, you will get the swing class. Okay, swing API class. Like we have button class in AWT, and if you put JButton, it is an swing API class. Same thing. Text field class we have inside AWT, and if you prefix J to that, you will get the swing class, what we call swing class, sorry, yes, swing API class. Same thing. Text area we have in AWT, and J text area, it is a part of swing. Radio button, J radio button. Checkbox, J checkbox. Likewise, we have different classes. Simply we need to prefix the J letter before the class name to get the swing API class. Okay, to the AWT class name to get the swing API class name. So here some of the differences between AWT and swing we have listed out. Okay, so as already discussed, your AWT components are platform dependent because they use many of the operating system components in order to execute. But whereas your swing components, they are platform independent. Okay, they don't interact with the operating system components when under execution. Okay, that's the reason your swing components are platform independent. And AWT is heavyweight, already I explained. Why it is heavyweight means because it consumes a lot of computer resources at the time of execution, which is not advisable. But whereas swing components, they are lightweight, they consume less number of computer resources. Okay, then the feel of plug and play we will get only in the case of swings, which is not available in case of AWT. Feel of plug and play in the sense, suppose inside your application, if you are developing an e-commerce application, let us assume, and you want to add some what we call payment gateway into your application. Payment gateway is nothing but using different bank payment platforms. So we will pay the amount on e-commerce websites or e-commerce applications. So if your application is an e-commerce application, and if it is giving issues in adding payment gateway, nobody will advise using such a thing. So we will have the AWT API, it is lagging the feel of plug and play, which is not there in swing. Swing is completely portable, and swing is completely what we call adaptable. It can adopt anything that you are going to put inside it. You can even put the HTML code, you can even put the gateway options, whatever you want. You can even install, I mean, you can even put the different what we call environments, like Flash environment you can add to the swing. Okay, likewise you can play with it simply. Okay, and the MVC architecture support, model view control architecture support, which is one of the important thing in the software application development, which is supported by only the swing. Okay, MVC, it is not there in AWT. AWT will develop the application entirely, but your swing, it will divide the application into three different modules, that is model, view and control. Okay, likewise. So what are JFCs? That is nothing but Java Foundation classes. They are the set of classes, or they are the set of GUI components which are helpful in developing the desktop applications. Okay, using these JFCs, Java Foundation classes, we can easily develop the applications, desktop applications in Java. Okay. So the hierarchy of classes, as you can see here, we have the object class on top, and whatever we have on the left hand side, all these classes are part of your AWT. Okay, which we have discussed in yesterday's session, like your component class, your containers class, your window class, panel class, applet, dialog, frame, all they are part of your AWT package, AWT API. Okay, but whereas this right hand side, whatever we have, all these are from your Swing API. So as you can see, as we said, your Swing is developed, or Swing is built on top of AWT. Of course, AWT is lagging in many things, though whatever laggings or whatever drawbacks, whatever counterparts we have inside this AWT, they solved all those things. Okay, they solve all those shortcomings, and then they came up with a new concept called Swing. Okay, so as you can see here, from where we got this J component, it is inheriting from the component class of AWT. So whatever properties, whatever logic, whatever code we have inside this component class, all that code, all that methods, properties will inherit inside the J component class. And inside this J component, we have some additional parameters also developed, additional features also developed. That is the concept of inheritance, isn't it? Whenever you are inheriting your current class from an existing class, you will inherit all the properties of existing class, and you have the flexibility to add more features to your current class. So that same thing is achieved over here. They inherited the component class, and whatever problems we have inside that component class, they tried to overcome all those things. Okay, so whatever components we have inside this Swing API, like your label, list, table, combo box, slider, menu, your button, all they are, I mean, subclasses to your component class only. Okay, so yeah, some of the methods which are commonly used in the GUI application development of Swing. Okay, these methods, they are common for both your AWT class as well as your AWT API as well as your Swing API. Okay, the add method, which is helpful in adding the component to the container. See here, we will create a component and okay, first of all, what we do, we create a container. Container is something, the backbone, okay, or we can say the template of your application, the backbone of your application, the supporting area of your application, or the main window of your application, we can say, the container. Okay, first we need to create the container. Okay, whatever I'm explaining over here, this we do for both AWTs as well as Swings. First we create the container, then we create components like your buttons, your text areas. Okay, after that, what we do, we add these components to your containers. Okay, we add these components to your container so that they will give the look and feel over there. Okay, so add method, it is basically helpful in adding the components to your containers. Set size, okay, how much for your component, how much width you want, how much height you want, that thing you can set with the help of this set size. Set layout manager. About layout manager, after the completion of these swings, we will discuss. Over there we will see how to set, I mean, what is a layout manager first of all, and how to set up that layout manager for our application, that we will see. And this set layout method is helpful in setting up the layout manager for your application. Then we have set visible. See, adding a component to your container, it doesn't make that component visible on the container. So you must have to call the set visible method, and you have to make that method as true on that particular component, so that the component will become visible on the container. Okay, so the next thing is swing example. So there are two ways in which we can create a frame. See, whenever we are developing an AWT application, or whenever we are developing a Swing application, we first we first draw, or we first create the containers. Okay, because without container, where you put all your components? So creating the container is the first job whenever you are going for the GUI based application in Java. First of all, you need to create the container. That container, it can be a panel, it can be a dialog box, it can be a frame, it can be a window, different things we have. Okay, most of the times we go with frames only because they are capable of adopting anything. Okay, So frame we can create in two different ways, so with inheritance and with association. Remember this one. Okay, with inheritance and with association. Inheritance in the sense we inherit the frame classes of AWT or JFrame class of Swing. Okay, simply inherit your current class, and then your current class will become like a frame, and inside that current class constructor, whatever instances of component you are going to create, those components you can easily add to the container. Okay, that is the first approach using inheritance. Then we have the association. Instead of creating the instead of inheriting from the frame class, what we are doing, we are we are writing our class like a regular class, and inside that regular class we are creating the object of frame class, and using that frame class we are doing many things over there, like adding the components, setting the size, setting the boundaries. All those things we are doing with the help of frame class object. So these are the two ways in which we can create the application, swing based application. Okay. Yes, always we need to write the swing code inside the main function, or inside a constructor, or inside any other method. Okay, we have the flexibility over here where wherever you want to write the swing code, there you can write the swing code directly. You can write the swing code inside main method. Then you need to inherit the frame class, any container class directly you can put inside the constructor. Then no need to inherit. Association we can achieve inside any other method. Directly inside the main method you create the frame class object, and using that frame class object you can invoke that method. Okay, we will see step by step how all these things will go. So this is a simple example of your swing application. So here what we have done, we have created a frame, and then we have created a button on that frame. Okay, so very simple thing. First we have created one frame, and on that frame we have created one button with label click, like this, click. Okay, if you see here, see, this is your frame, and this is your button, and this is your click label. Okay, the terminology very important. When I'm saying a particular term over here, you immediately you need to grasp that one, and what I am showing you have to understand that one. Frame in the sense the window, what we are seeing, this particular area from here to here, whatever we have, and from here to here, whatever we have, we call that as a frame. And button in the sense this square, sorry, rectangle, what we are seeing over here, and label in the sense the text, whatever you are seeing over here. This is button, this entire thing is frame, and this is label. So how we are doing that one? First of all, in order to write a swing application, you need to import the swing package into your application. Okay, import java x.swing.star. So this will include all the classes and interfaces, whatever you have predefined stuff inside this swing package, that will be inherited, or that will be included inside your program. And then what we are doing, we are writing our regular class. As you can see, we are not extending this regular class from the frame class. Okay, so inside the main method we are writing the code over here. Inside main I am creating the object of my JFrame, because I am developing an application, swing application, so all J things I have to use over here. So JFrame class object I am creating, and I'm creating an object of button class, JButton class. Okay, JButton B is equals to new JButton of with label click. And for this JButton, for this button, whatever we have created, I'm setting the boundaries. Okay, where exactly you want this button to be displayed. Okay, from top, down, top, bottom, left, right, where exactly you want this button to be displayed. Okay, then yes, on the frame object we are adding this button object, as you can, using the add method. F dot add of B, what it will do, it will add this button object on the frame object. Frame object is nothing but the frame container, whatever you have created. Button object is nothing but the button, whatever you have created. So using this we are adding, and for the frame we are setting the size. You can even set the size for button also. B dot set size will set the size of your button, that also you can do. Here what I am doing, I am setting the size for my frame. F dot set size, what it will do, it will set the size, height and width for the frame. Okay, set layout, as so far we are not setting any layout, so it simply make it as null. And set visible, F dot set visible true. Okay, this will make your component visible. Okay, So these statements, in this way only you have to write inside your Swing application, and when you execute this application you will get this type of output. See how easy it is to get this much of things inside your Java's GUI application. It is very easy. Okay. Similarly, in with the help of association also we can create uh, association, in the sense inside a constructor we are keeping. Okay, inside a constructor we are keeping all those things, and inside main method what we are doing, we are simply invoking that constructor. So the same code what I have done inside my simple, I mean inside my constructor, simple is my class name, and inside that constructor I kept the entire code, whatever code we have, creating the button object, and creating the frame object, and adding properties to your button object, adding properties to your frame object, and finally adding the button object to frame object. Everything I have done inside the simple constructor. And inside main what I am doing, I'm simply calling that constructor, not even creating the object. You can see object reference, simply I'm invoking that constructor over here. New of simple, it will allocate the memory to that simple object, and it will invoke that simple constructor. So inside that constructor everything is happening, so you will get that same output whatever we have seen over here. Okay. And there is another way by inheritance. Inheritance in the sense you must have to extend your current class from the JFrame class. So this is also another approach of creating the Swing application. Okay, here also same thing, inside the constructor I am keeping the stuff, and here as you can see, even no need of this frame over here. Okay, no need of this frame, simply yes, I think here, yeah, directly you can call the add method. As you are calling the add method, set size method, set layout method, set visible, all these things go to the frame object only. Okay, you only need to create the button object and add that button object to the frame object. That's it. Okay. Why we are not using references like f dot over here, in the sense because already our class is extending the frame object. So if you invoke this add method directly, this will invoke the add method from that JFrame class only. Okay, that's the reason. Hopefully you understood. And there are other stuff, other examples also we have inside Swing that we need to discuss, like labels, image icon, text field, swing buttons, tabbed pane, scroll pane, list, combo boxes. All these things also we have inside your Swing API. So when we do the programming, I will try to select any one or two from this list also, and I will try to explain, because explaining all it is taking a lot of time, and every single entity, every single element whatever we are discussing over here, it is having its own classes, its own constructors, its own methods to use, its own variables defined, all these things. It will take a lot of time. So for every predefined class, because all these are our classes only, for every predefined class, what we gonna have? Predefined class. First we will have the constructors. Okay, constructors, parameterized constructors. Okay, we are going to overloaded constructors we are going to have for predefined class. Then we are going to have constants. Constants are nothing but variables defined in that predefined class. Then we are going to have methods, predefined methods. So these three things, whenever we are, suppose if you are studying about JLabel class, you need to see what parameterized constructors we have inside this JLabel class, what constants defined we have inside this JLabel class, and what methods defined we have inside this JLabel class. These three things, whenever you are preparing for a predefined class, you need to prepare for these three things. And for all these classes, predefined classes, whatever we have all these three things. Okay, so we will discuss only the first predefined thing, that is the first component or the important component from your swings package, that is the JButton class. Okay, using this JButton we are going to get a button on the frame, button in your application. So JButton class is used to create a labeled button. Okay, so that label we can pass as a parameter to the constructor of this JButton. Okay, labeled button that has a platform independent implementation. So unlike your AWT button, this swing button, it is having the platform independent implementation. Okay, the application result in some action when the button is pushed, so it is going to have some pushing ability. So whenever you are pushing that button, it will generate an event. Okay, that event needs to be handled in your inside your application. Okay, and it inherits the abstract button class. Inside swing package only we have another class like abstract button. From there we are having this JButton. Okay, remember this one. From abstract button we have JButton. Okay, JButton class declaration you can see over here, extends abstract button and implements accessible. This accessible is nothing but it is an interface, and this interface is having many different listeners inside it. Okay, you just need to implement those listeners in order to get the functionality. Whenever you are hitting the button, whenever you are clicking on that button, it is generating the event. That event needs to be handled with the help of listeners, because listeners only capable of listening to these events, isn't it? So public class JButton extends abstract class and implements accessible. So some of the constructors which are defined inside the JButton class. So this is the default constructor, and it will create a normal button without any text. Okay, and this JButton class, it is having some JButton constructor, when you are passing some string to it, it will create that string as a label on that button. Okay, as a label on that button. Then lastly we have JButton with an icon. You can pass the path of an image, or you can create the icon for your button, and that icon you can pass as an argument to this JButton, and then what will happen, that JButton will be created along with this icon. Hopefully you understood. So these are some of the predefined methods which are helpful in setting this text to the button, getting the text from the button, enabling it, and icon set, get icon. Then mnemonics also you can set, and listenings, action listener, add action listener, it is used to listen to the generated event. Okay, so here is the simple example. What we are doing inside the main method only, we are writing the code. So we are creating the object of JFrame, creating the object of JButton, setting the boundaries for the button, set bounds, and add using add method we are adding this button to the frame, and then setting the size of the frame, layout null, visibility true. So you can see this type of output on the output screen. When we do it practically, you will feel more flexible, because right now I'm just explaining the code, so maybe you're not getting this one, but when we do it practically you will understand a lot. Okay, this is another example, and like this with text you will get. Okay, all these things we will see, and you can even get the image. You can even get the image on the button, and that also we're gonna discuss. Okay, then other components like what we have seen in this list we need to practice. uh, as I said, every single class over here will have its own predefined constructors, its own predefined constants, and its own predefined methods. Okay, we will see one by one. Then we have the after this JButton we are winding up this swings concept, and then we have the layout managers. Okay, what is a layout manager, and what is the purpose of using a layout manager in our application, in the sense, because every time setting the boundaries for every component inside your application, it is a tedious job, because many of the times we have seen, whenever we go for an application, it is going to have a lot of components integrated into it. So keeping track of all those components for arranging them on the backbone, or arranging them on the frame or the container, it is a difficult job. So we have some layout managers defined, which are helpful in laying out the components on the containers. Okay, the layout managers are used to arrange the components in a particular manner, where they will arrange these components in the sense on the what we call containers. Okay, layout manager is an interface that is implemented by all the classes of layout manager. Okay, all the classes of layout manager, we have the layout manager on top, and under it we have different layout manager types. The following are few of the classes that represents the layout managers, like we have border layout, we have flow layout, grid layout, card layout, grid bag layout. Okay, box layout, group layout, scroll pane layout, and spring layout. How these layout managers are helpful in arranging the components, we will see one by one. So the first one is border layout, and it is also used to arrange the components in 5 regions, that is north, south, east, west, and in the center of the frame. If you want to put something on the north, that is nothing but on the top, you can use the north constant. Here you can see those constants, north constant. If you want to put something in the bottom, use the south. Left hand side right hand side east, left hand side west, and in the middle if you want to put, use the center constant. Like this, likewise these constants are helpful in arranging the components on your border layout. Okay, yeah, it is the default layout of frame or window. So when you are not using any layout manager by default, when you are not using any layout manager for frame and window, by default the default border layout only the layout manager. Okay, uh, then we have the constructors for that border layout class. See here, border layout, it is available for AWT, and JBorder Layout, it is available for the what we call swing. Okay, creates a border layout but with no gaps between the components. All the components will be like attached. Okay, you have created one button, and immediately you have created one text box. They will come like attached. There is no gap in between. You didn't get any gap. But that sort of issue, it overcome in JBorder Layout. It is the class under your swing package. So swing is an advanced version. It is having the hgap, horizontal gap and vertical gap. How much gap you want from the top component and how much gap you want from the side component, that you can decide using the JBorder Layout class. Okay, so then here you can see north means where the component will be placed, as I said, at the top, and south means at the bottom, west means left side, and east means right side, and center means in the middle. So in this way all your components will be arranged inside the what we call the border layout. Okay, border layout. So if you put all these code, you will get this type of output. Okay, then we have grid layout. It is also helpful in arranging the components in rectangular grids. So like this, in the form of grids, you will get all the components. Okay, for this also we have one associated program that we will discuss. Okay, then we have the flow layout. It will arrange all the components in a line. Okay, then box layout, you can arrange the components in horizontal boxes as well as vertical boxes, something I have shown over here. What is box layout, and horizontally means how and vertically means how. Okay, then card layout, it will like your deck. Okay, playing cards deck, how the cards will be arranged in that deck, in that same manner all the components in your card layout will be arranged. You can select your components from that card layout. Okay, grid back layout, something will be aligned at the top and at the baseline, like as I have shown over here. Okay, then this is something to generate the sign in or what we call registration page. When you are creating this type of layout, we use, and this is to group different components under a single layout. We go for group layout. Okay, then spring layout, combination of different types of components we can put under spring layout. And scroll pane layout, as you can see we are getting the scroll bars, horizontal and vertical, for this scroll pane layout. Okay, these are some of the layout managers which are helpful in arranging the components on your container. Okay, hopefully you understood this concepts. We discussed about swings and we discussed about the layout managers. The programming stuff, as we promised, as I promised, we will discuss in the weekend. Okay, I will show you how you can execute the AWT programs, swing programs, and layout manager programs. So in short, all the Java X package programs, we have a different procedure. That procedure also I will explain. How to set up the environment also I will explain, and how to execute the programs also I will explain in the weekend. Okay, thank you very much, students.